What up? What's going on, IG? What's going on, Spreaker? Now, I got both these two programs running at the same time, just in case IG gets weird. Y'all should have your asses over here at Spreaker. If you're not signed up, that's your own fault. And I'm not going on no other platform. This is exclusive to Instagram and Spreaker. No place else. Not YouTube, not Clubhouse. I didn't feel like it, because I got a message that I want to deliver to you guys. So this is not the daily blurb. This ain't none of that. I ain't come to talk about any of the other stuff. I came to talk to you about things that you need to know as we're going through this process. But the first thing I want to do is I'm going to give you guys a round of applause for being on live tonight. Yes, I want to say thank you for you guys coming on live with me tonight. I see the numbers going up. I see the numbers going up. The numbers are going up on Spreaker. The numbers are going up on Instagram. Now, I put a post up today, and I told you guys to read Zechariah chapters 10 through 12 and to decode it. My question to you is, did any of you do that? Did any of you do that? That's what I want to know. Did any of you do it? Hey, Ty Brown, what up? Lunar Bassett, you got the straight face? You don't even know what I'm going to say, you got the straight face. But did you look it up, though? All right, look. I've been getting some heavy transmissions on a spiritual level, and that's why I'm delivering this message to you guys tonight, because I'm being led by the ancestors, and I'm being led by other forces to come and communicate to you guys some things. First things first, I want to give out some messages. For those of you that are joining the status correction class, I was told to tell you this. For some reason, I don't know why, but this particular status correction class is going to set the tone. Everybody that's in this class is going to set the tone pretty much for the rest of your life. Okay? Those who are not getting inside the status correction course before the day of the retrograde starts, you are going to have a hard time as it pertains to your inheritance. those who are in the status correction course. And this is the reason why I asked you guys, should I do more than one class? Y'all said yes, but I was also led by Spirit to do this, where they want me to do classes pretty much. They're like, look, just try to take in as many people as you can and just do consecutive classes from the 28th up until the day of the actual Mercury retrograde, which I believe is the very last, I think it's like the 29th, the 30th or the 31st, the 30th of January. If you guys know, I'm going to get into that. Calm your nerves down. So I'm letting you guys know that for those that are in their proper persona, you guys, this is going to affect your destiny in a very big way. If you already have businesses established right now in place, when you are in your proper persona, these specific individuals that are in that status correction course, okay, I'm told to tell you guys this, I don't know why. Those of you that are in the status correction course, you are going to be chosen to lead the new world that's coming in for the age of Aquarius. So there's going to be something going on with you guys on a financial level where you're going to have the ability to be able to impact the world. Okay? So I want to make sure you guys know I'm just simply delivering the messages. Y'all better figure out how you get it. I don't care if you got to go ask 10 people for $50. I don't give a damn what you got to do. Get your ass in the class. Okay? Now, once that Mercury retrograde hits, it's a wrap. Also want to make you guys aware that because of the planetary alignments that are coming up at this time, you guys need to be aware starting next week. It's going to be one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. It's going to be nonstop. Okay? You guys need to be aware of this. Now, I have been really doing some serious thinking about how I was going to deliver this message to you guys, to all my people. And there's no other way for me to deliver it but just to come straight up. I've told you guys to read the scripture, because this is not from a perspective of religion. Because I'm going to keep it $1.50. You're not going to find a tombstone of Moses. You're not going to find a tombstone of any of these cats they ever talked about in this book. Because those names were allegorical. Now, if you want to discuss archetypes, we can have a different conversation. Okay? I specifically said to you guys, the Bible is a book about astrology and code and timelines, cosmic timelines. Okay? So, it is given me, it's been brought to my attention through Spirit to pay attention to this. Now, unbeknownst to you guys, there is a race that is on this planet. And this particular race, they're called the Lyrians. Okay? And it just was brought to my attention that the Lyrians were actually part of the tribe of Judah. Now, what's interesting enough is that I just saw a picture of something that Donald Trump put up. And I want you guys to take a look at this, just to confirm what I was telling you. Take a look at this and tell me, what do you see? What do you see? The lion. And this is the reason why I'm here to have this conversation with y'all, so you guys understand your positioning on what's really going on. Okay? Now, for so many eons, we have been a people that have not known who we are. For so many eons, we have allowed the artificials to dictate to us and tell us who we are, what we are. We have trusted their knowledge. We have trusted them when it came to the healthcare. We have trusted them when it came time for education. Everything that we did was not a construct that was our own. And everything that we learned was not that of ourselves. Because of this, it has brought down a curse upon us. Because they taught us they inverted everything and taught us how to look at things from an inverted perspective or an inverted point of view. where now you begin to start externalizing your power. Because you don't know that on a collective as a whole, that you are in fact the God that has been talked about as a collective the entire time in every book that's ever been written about. So you don't realize the power of your mind, the Ori, the head. You still don't realize the deity that lives within you. And all of us have that inner deity, that inner head, or that Ori that we have. We all have it. Let me read something to you through these scriptures, because I want to establish some things real quick before I go into some things. Chapter 10 in Zechariah, it says, make your requests of God for rain in the time of the spring, rain even of God who is making the storm clouds, and who gives a downpour of rain to them, to each one vegetation in the field. This is not nothing external of you. This is us. Because we were the original weather controllers. We were. By sound, by drum, by singing. So I'm here to activate your power. I'm here to help you activate that DNA that's going to charge up that God energy that's been lying within you. I'm going to continue. For the teraphim themselves have spoken what is uncanny, and the practicers of divination for their part have visioned falsehood and valueless dreams of what they keep speaking, and in vain they try to comfort. That is why they will certainly depart like a flock. They will become afflicted because there is no shepherd. Against the shepherds my anger has grown hot, and against the goat-like leaders I shall hold an accounting, for God of armies has turned his attention to his drove, the house of Judah, and has made them like his horse of dignity in the battle. Out of him is the keyman, out of him is the supporting ruler, out of him is the battle bow, out of him goes forth every taskmaster all together. And they must become like mighty men stamping down in the mire of the streets in the battle. And they must get engaged in battle, for God is with them. And the riders of horses will have to experience shame. And I will make the house of Judah superior, and the house of Joseph I shall save. And I will give them a dwelling, for I will show them mercy. And they must become like those who I had not cast off, for I am their God, and I shall answer them. And those of Ephraim must come just like a mighty man, and their heart must rejoice as though from wine. And their own sons will see, and certainly rejoice. Their heart will be joyful in God. I will whistle for them and collect them together, for I shall certainly redeem them, and they must become many like those who have become many. And I shall scatter them like the seed among the peoples. In the distant places they will remember me, and they must revive with their sons and return. And I must bring them back from the land of Egypt and from Assyria. I shall collect them together, and to the land of Gilead and Lebanon I shall bring them, and no room will be found for them. And he must pass through the sea with distress. And in the sea he must strike down the waves, and all the depths of the Nile must dry up. And the pride of Assyria must be brought down. And the very scepter of Egypt will depart. And I will make them superior in God. And in his name they will walk out in the utterance of God. You're absolutely right. A big test is coming up, and this is why I'm having this conversation. Before I go further, America was the old world, or is the old world. America is the old world. So I'm giving you a history on something right now. So when I go in, you understand where I'm coming from. Open up your doors, O Lebanon, that a fire may devour among your cedars. How, O juniper tree, for the cedars have fallen, because the majestic ones themselves have been despoiled. How, you massive trees of Bashan, for the impenetrable forest has come down. Listen, the howling of shepherds, for their majesty has been despoiled. Listen, the roaring of young lions, for the proud along the Jordan have been despoiled. This is what God has said, shepherd the flock meant for the killing. So those that are led are meant to be out of here. Make sure you're clear about what I'm about to say here. The buyers of which proceed to kill, although they are not held guilty, and those who are selling them say, may God be blessed, while shall gain riches, and their own shepherds do not show any compassion upon them. In other words, the people that you look up to guide you, the people that you looked up to trust, you did not operate within your own divinity. You didn't open up within your own God state of mind. You come from the Creator, and yet you allowed the false shepherds to guide you in such a way where you trusted them about your health. You trusted them with your education. Look at all the people that ran out here and got these damn injections because they were not operating within their divinity. They were not operating within their godhood because they took the time out and gave reverence to the shepherd who didn't give a damn about them. And now there is no compassion shown for those people who did not operate within their divinity. What I'm trying to say to you, my people, is that everything that you see taking place right now is happening because it's supposed to happen. Do you understand? When I see you focusing on Bill Gates is doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Don't y'all get it? China has a role to play. The United States has a role to play. Everybody has a role to play as it pertains to when the tribe of Judah, the God, wakes the hell up and does what it needs to do, what we need to do on the collective level. Y'all feel that? Y'all feel them tingling sensations? Because the ancestors is here right now. I'm about to drop this on y'all asses today. For I shall show compassion no more upon the inhabitants of the land, and the utterance of God. So here I am causing mankind to find themselves, each one in the hand of his companion and in the hand of his king. And they will certainly crush to pieces the land, and I shall do no delivering out of their hand. That means America got to fall. And it's going to fall. And I proceeded to shepherd the flock for the killing in your behalf, O afflicted ones of the flock. So I took for myself 2 staffs, the one I called pleasantness and the other I called union. And I went to shepherding the flock. And I finally effaced 3 shepherds. And 1 lunar month, as my soul gradually became impatient with them, and also their own soul felt a loathing towards me. How many people you know that hates themselves? Because see, to hate God means you hate yourself. To hate yourself means you hate God. Because you still have yet to figure out that you are one and the same. So therefore, you bring down the curses upon yourself. Because you hate yourself. You want to know why this world is in the state that it's in right now? Because you hate yourself. You want to know why your land is in the state that it's in right now? Because you hate yourself. You still have yet to figure out that you are bringing all of this into fruition. Every single thing that you see happening, you are bringing this into fruition. Every single thing that you see taken and placed in front of your eyes, you are bringing this into fruition on a collective level. At length I said, I shall not keep shepherding you. The one that is dying, let her die. The one that's dying, let her die. How many times have you heard me say, let the dead lie with the dead? Huh? How many times have you heard me say that? And the one that is being effaced, let her be effaced. And as for the ones left remaining, let them devour each one the flesh of her companions. Boom. Now we talked about them injections, didn't we? And we don't know what kind of issue that's going to cause for those who went and got that shit done. But you hear it being said right now, right here, in this timeline we're in. They're telling you this is what's going down. So I took my staff pleasantness and cut it to pieces in order to break my covenant. And I had concluded with all the peoples. And it came to the broken in that day, and the afflicted ones of the flock who were watching me got to know in this way that it was the word of God. That I said to them, if it is good in your eyes, give me my wages, but if not, refrain. And they proceeded to pay my wages 30 pieces of silver. At that, God said to me, throw it to the treasury. The majestic value with which I had been valued from their standpoint. Accordingly, I took the 30 pieces of silver and threw it into the treasury at the house of God. This is very interesting. Now, how many of you guys have been told that your birth certificate is worth a certain amount of money? And where were they monetizing at? What entity was monetizing that? Who controls that? The treasury. Stop texting me while I'm on this live. Oh, these are people. Oh, my bad. These are people signing up for stat. Oh, Lord. I'm going to turn off these updates. Y'all getting in on status correction. Okay. Then I cut in pieces my second staff, the union, in order to break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. And God went on to say to me, take yet for yourself the implements of a useless shepherd. For here I am letting a shepherd rise up in the land to the sheep. Being effaced, he will give no attention. So that basically means to the sheeple, those who were led by the wrong shepherd, it's a wrap. See, they're talking about this great divide. Even in this, the God that you worship, which is nothing more than yourself, and if you want to look at it as something outside of yourself, is not going to play with you on no level. Not going to play with you on no level. This is crazy. For here I am letting a shepherd rise up in the land to the sheep, being effaced, he will give no attention. The young one he will not seek, and the broken sheep he will not heal. The one stationing herself he will not supply with food, and the flesh of the fat one he will eat. And the hooves of the sheep he will tear off. Woe to my valueless shepherd, who is leaving the flock. A sword will be upon his arm, and upon his right eye. His own arm will without fail dry up, and his own right eye will without fail grow dim. We're not talking about literal body parts, guys. Okay? We're not talking about body parts. Pay attention to every single country right now that you are seeing falling apart. Their governments are falling apart. Pay attention to what's happening right now. Pay attention to what's happening right now. Last chapter, because I got to break it down. Don't get yourself caught up in the matrix. I just told y'all not. Don't get yourself caught up in the matrix with that whole shit. I done told y'all about that. Y'all got to come up out of that. Because when I'm reading this stuff to you, none of these beings existed. They are talking about you. And when they're talking about the Son of Man, they're talking about the second son, the Son of Man. Get it together. Listen. The word of God concerning Israel is the utterance of God, the one who is stretching out the heavens and laying the foundation of earth, and forming the spirit of man inside him or her. Here I am making Jerusalem a bowl, causing reeling to all the peoples round about, and also against Judah. He will come to be in the siege. Right now, we are under siege. Right now, the lost tribe of Judah. We are in this country and we are under siege right now, even as we speak. Monitor Zoom. Shh. Listen. All right. Even against Jerusalem, and it must occur in that day, I shall make Jerusalem a burdensome stone to all the peoples. All those lifting it will without fail get severe scratches for themselves, and against her all the nations of the earth will certainly be gathered. In that day is the utterance of God. I shall strike every horse with bewilderment, and its rider with madness. And upon the house of Judah I shall open my eyes, and every horse of the peoples I shall strike with loss of sight. And the sheiks of Judah will have to say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem are strength to me by God of armies, their God. And in that day I shall make the sheiks of Judah like a fire pot among trees, and like a fiery torch in a row of newly cut grain, and they must devour on the right hand and on the left all the peoples round about. And Jerusalem must yet be inhabited in her own place in Jerusalem. And God will certainly save the tents of Judah first, to the end that the beauty of the house of David and the beauty of the inhabitants of Jerusalem may not become too great over Judah. In that day, God will be a defense around the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and the one that is stumbling among them must become in that day like David, and the house of David like God, like Jehovah's angel before them. And it must occur in that day, I shall seek to annihilate all the nations that are coming against Jerusalem. And I will pour out upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of favor and entreaties. And they will certainly look to the one whom they pierced through, and they will certainly well over him. And in the welling over only son, and there will be a bitter lamentation over him, as when there was a bitter lamentation over the firstborn son. In that day, the wailing in Jerusalem will be great, like the wailing of Hadad-Rimmon in the valley plain of Megiddo. And the land will certainly wail, each family by itself, the family of the house of David by itself, and their women by themselves, the family of the house of Nathan by itself, and the women by themselves, the family of the house of Levi by itself, and their women by themselves, the family of the Shemites by itself, and their women by themselves, all the families that are left remaining, each family by itself, and their women by themselves. Now, let me go ahead and break it on down for you, because I had to go ahead and get that out, because I asked you guys to decode that. When I don't give y'all assignments for no reason at all. No, at Malta Bay, when you speak of the 144,000, no, baby, there's 144,000 DNA and genes in your body that will be activated when the Spirit of God, or the Spirit that, quote, comes down from that sun, or the radiation that comes down from that sun and comes down on the tribe of Judah and wakes our asses the hell up. As when we are fully restored into our godhood, period. And it got nothing to do with 144,000 people. It's got everything to do with what's in your genes, within your body. And so when it says, I'm going to pour out my spirit, we are talking about the radiation from the sun. Have you guys been looking at the sun? Have you guys not been seeing all the different colors around the sun? Have you not been seeing the radiation pouring down out of the sun? The spirit, okay, or the radiation is pouring down upon the children. And now you know why your enemy is working so hard to make sure that you get that vaccination. So those DNA and those genes don't activate because they already know that their time is up all the way across the board. Their time is up. It's a wrap for them folk. All of them. This is a time right now where you should be getting into your divinity. This is a time right now where you should be connecting to your spirituality. This is the time right now where you don't allow nobody outside of you to lead you and tell you what you should do. You don't trust your enemy when it comes to your health. You don't trust your enemy when it comes to the foods that you eat. You don't trust your enemy when it comes to the knowledge that you receive. You got to stop that shit. Because if you don't come up out of her, if you don't come up out of Babylon, if you don't come out of the 3D way of thinking or the 3D state of consciousness, if you don't come up out of this matrix, there shall be no mercy shown upon you. And you will die and go right wrong with the rest of the folk. And there shall be no mercy shown upon you. Period. So for those of you that are caught up with that whole, if you believe that there is a quote unquote God outside of you, well, just told you. He's not making no time for you. Because you chose that, over your divinity. We come together on a collective level. This is who they know we are. They knew that this day was coming. They knew this day was coming. So in spite of everything that you see going on right now, Trump doing this and China doing that and deep state doing this and deep state doing that. What are you doing? And see, now I'm having a better understanding now. The clarity has come to me now about this quote-unquote Carrington event or supernova thing that people keep talking about. But I'm of the mindset that the radiation or the spirit of the life giver, the light of the world, is already bearing down upon us. And there are so many of our people that have went left and have given their divinity up to Bill Gates. That is their God. Make sure you're clear. Every single person that listened to that man and everything that he stood for and everything he was about and everything he talked to, he put it out there that he was trying to depopulate. He put it out there. That was the agenda. There wasn't a single person that should not have known this. That was their God. So your actions will determine who your God is based upon how you move and how you act. And so guess what? The true children will be separated from those that's in that space. And they will eat themselves. They will eat of themselves. There will not be any mercy shown towards any of these individuals that have chosen to go down that path. Because they should have known better. Now, I know y'all wasn't expecting me to go this hard. I know y'all wasn't expecting me to talk about it on this level. But see, I'm supposed to talk to y'all and I'm supposed to get y'all prepped. This is my assignment. This was given to me. So I'm here to give it to you to make sure you guys are clear about your positioning. Stop being led by the wrong damn shepherd. Because you saw what Fauci said. You saw how he flipped the script and said, oh, well, it doesn't necessarily mean you ain't going to get it. You saw how he just straight flipped the whole. I didn't put all that PSA out there and turn around and flip the script. This is what it's talking about. You're not operating with your divine mind. You're not operating within your divinity. We were the fabric of morality within this country. And what did we go and do? We were led by shepherds that were leading all of us the wrong way. Because we didn't take the time out to think for ourselves. See, that's not how, I don't see how you could be a product of the Creator and you act like you don't know how to lead yourself. That ain't no sign to me. You got a lot of church going folk up in here that go to church every day and learn lessons every day. And for the life of me, I can't understand how they go against every damn law that's talked about in the book. Your punishment for that alone is death. It could be a physical death. It could be a spiritual death. It could be a mental death. but it's death. Because you chose death over life. You got caught up in the death culture. You let a dead man, a walking, living, breathing dead man tell you about your health. I hate when people ask me dumbass questions during my live. I don't like that. So I'm not even going to respond to the person who asked me that dumbass question. I'm not going to respond to them. You're just not going to get a response. You know, if you listen twice as much as you speak, you'd be surprised at what you can learn. That's going to be my response to you. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is this. There's a saying. And someone said, my transcendent conscience says, my people perish for lack of applied knowledge. Boom. So when I'm saying to you guys, as quote unquote, we've heard the term, the golden race, I'm going to call y'all the tribe of Judah. I'm letting y'all know right now. Let me give you the rundown of how this is going to go down. Okay, let me give you the rundown. They have given power unto the beast. Do you know who the beast is? The dragon? China? There were people in this great nation that have given power unto the beast. So you need to understand that all this stuff has to play itself out, because this is a timeline we're talking about now. Now, let me say this one thing as well. We, on the collective level, control time. And the only individuals that brought time was us, because we started looking at this from a whole different perspective. What used to be seconds for us is now minutes and days, because we took on a construct and a way of thinking that ain't got shit to do with us. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? So if you're taking on something that's foreign to you, foreign to your God mind, you will manifest that. Because see, you still have yet to understand that the head is the deity, is the God within you. And when you give dominion to something, your head is going to bring it into fruition. That's why I say, take your hand over your head and say a prayer to God every day. This is the God, the head within the head, every day, so it answers your prayers. So imagine if all of us came together as a collective one. Now, we bought into the bullshit, and we went different ways, and we went separate ways, and we did this whole division thing, and they knew. See, what you guys got to understand is the powers that be already knew what they had to do in order for them to gain control of us. And the number one thing that they had to do was to divide us. They never wanted us to come together in the collective, because I told you once before, if we came together in the collective, this whole shit would be shut down on sight. Well, now let me tell you what's happening. A culling is about to take place. Culling. C-U-L-L-I-N-G. And it's going to be allowed to happen. Because on a collective level, we want it to happen. So it's going to happen. See, if you got a bunch of people in the world that don't love themselves, and this is why you heard me pushing the shadow work, we should have been past the shadow work phase. But that's why you heard me and so many other people talking about shadow work, shadow work, shadow work, shadow work, to get to a space in your life where you get rid of the traumas and you deal with becoming whole again. You start loving yourself again. Then your outlook on the world changes. And when your outlook of the world changes, if you change from the inside, it will affect everything on the outside. So if you got a bunch of people that refuse to do the work because they thought some kind of way they were going to skip past that shit and think that they're going to get to the new earth that's even talked about in this book. It talked about the old earth falling away. What do you think they're talking about? How many times have you guys heard me say parallel earth, parallel earth, parallel earth? I talked to you guys about that. They're talking about the same shit as book. The same exact thing. They're just not naming it the way that you expect them to name it, but I'm giving you guys the breakdown about it. So all those that are not, I want you to hear me real good, y'all. Because they wasn't playing around when they said that the meek shall inherit the earth. Now let me put you up on a game about something in terms of the outcome of this. There isn't going to be a presidency anymore. It's going to be a council. And when that council arises, it will arise from the actual tribe of Judah. We right now, what you guys don't realize is that the Lyrians have been going in and deassembling all of the governments around the world. This is the reason why all this is happening at the same damn time. This is why when you see me putting stuff up, you see this going on, this going on, this going on, all at the same damn time. That's them doing that. Because they're trying to speed up the timeline. So since they're trying to speed up the timeline, now you got these fools here. Now you got them here on the earth. Now there's a lot of people that said they're starting to see a lot of ships. Last night in Arizona, if you guys go look at my stories, right now, and you want to see about 20 ships in the sky, large ass ships in the sky, right out here in Arizona. Last night, large ships in the sky. Like they was just out there just, yeah, we here, fam. What up? What's happening? All you gotta do is go to stories and take a look, and you'll see all the ships. Because the guy that was recording it was bugging the hell out. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Divine feminine energy. That is correct. So everything that you see playing out within this country is brought to my attention that it all has to go. All of it has to go. It ain't just going to be we just return it back to the Republic. Because if it's benefiting one race and there's another, the shit got to go. It was shown to me. It's all got to go. So when I said to you guys that we are going to have our land back, we're going to get our land back. That's going to happen. But I also said there's going to be some pain behind that. It was shown to me that no more are the days where it's going to be older people running this nation anymore. It will be a council. And it will be a council that will be set in stone by the house of Judah. Period. It will be a combination of both older and younger, but it's going to be younger folks running the show. The old world and the old way of doing things is done. But I need you guys to really understand your positioning and your power. And you should be getting as much sun as you possibly can right now. Because they're trying their damnedest to make sure you don't get that sun. They're trying their damnedest to stop that red radiation from coming down. There's nothing that can be done about the radiation. You guys see the skies all different colors, purple and blue and yellow and orange and red. There's nothing they can do to stop that. They can't stop that. That's going to be what that's going to be. All they know is that their time is up, so they're moving as fast as they can to try to take out as many people. What they don't realize is that their asses won't even be here anymore. They won't even be here anymore. So it's kind of like, well, I know my time is up, so I'm going to go out kicking and screaming, so I'm going to try to hurt and take out as many people as I can. But see, anybody that went and volunteered to get certain things done to them, that was a contract. And they chose that. So they get what they get. Now, it may be condescending to say that. But hell, you saw what your creator said. You know what I'm saying? Like, it may be condescending, but it is what it is. Yes, the different colors in the sky is going to stay like that because that's establishing a new earth. Okay? It's going to stay like that. That's not going to change. All these people that are dying right now, and I'm going to give you guys some information about that. A lot of suicides, a lot of people dying. And the way it was explained to me is that you're going to see a lot of wicked people. You're not going to know what's going on with these people when they die. Okay, don't even get caught up in just the celebrities and the people that are known out here dying. Don't get caught up in that. But those that have that wickedness within them cannot sustain to be on the earth. So she's taking everybody out. This is coming from that sun. Remember I said a while back, I said there's going to be something going on with the sun, man, where it's going to be pouring something out, and it's going to seem random as hell, where people are just going to die, and it's going to be very random, like, damn. Because remember, we're in the Gregorian year. We're not in the true year, we're in the Gregorian year, okay? So now you see this happening where you see people dying left and right. I told y'all this was going to happen back in the summer. I told y'all that was going to happen September, October, November. I told you guys something was going to be going on with that sun. And that the people would be breathing in the radiation for whatever reason, whatever's going on with that individual, whatever frequency that these individuals are operating on. I told you that radiation has some kind of intelligence to it. And people are just going to start dropping like flies. And that's what you see happening. And it's going to continue. It's going to continue. This is just the beginning. And that's why I'm saying to you, the great culling is happening. See, we're so caught up in the whole big war aspect of things. And I'm not saying that shit ain't going to hit the fan down in D.C. I'm not saying that, because right now, with the way the planetary alignments are set up right now, it does appear that there might be some type of explosion or something going on. It does appear that way. However, let me just say this. That ain't even, and what they're going to say that is, ain't even what that is. So you're really going to have to really keep your wits about you and keep your mind together, because things are going to be moving so damn fast that you're not going to have time to think. You see how fast things are rolling in right now. You wait till next week. Oh, you just wait. Every day is going to be something. Every day is going to be something. So all of it's got to go. So I'm talking to my people that are operating within their divinity. You have got to know now that you or ye are gods, as you were told. You are gods. Okay? Continue to do good things for people. Continue to put the energy of love out for people. Continue to raise your vibrational frequency. Continue to do well continue to help others. And if you haven't been doing it, start. Do it because you really want to do it, not because you feel like. Because if you feel like you got to do it, it's fake, and you still ain't gonna get it. When one operates within their divinity, they're naturally protected. All you gotta do is walk within your divinity. The ancestors said, we got your back. But this is our time now. No more of that old shit. I don't care what's going on with Donald Trump. I don't care what's going on with Joe Biden. I don't care what's going on with China. I don't care what's going on with these big tech companies. And if they're watching, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Everything that you need to be concerned about at this point in time is let Babylon fall. Stay your ass out the way and let Babylon fall. Let them tear their asses to pieces. And for those that are stupid enough to get themselves caught up in that matrix, well, you already saw what was said. You already saw what was said. What's going to happen to them? You guys stay the hell out of the way and let this shit take place as it's supposed to. And they don't realize, but these chain of events that are happening right now is all within divine order. So there's nothing for you to be afraid of. If you're truly operating within your divinity, you will know that there's nothing for you to be afraid of. See, only people that are not operating within their divinity are operating out of fear. So all my people that's operating in fear, check yourself, because you're telling on yourself. You're telling on yourself. If you know you ain't doing right, I suggest you get your affairs in order. and get yourself right and get your mind right. Because only a person that stays in fear and operates in fear are not operating within the divinity. Period. I'm going to call you out. Because see, you can't play both sides of the fence when it comes to spirituality. Y'all better get your shit together. Don't be so physical that you ain't got no spirituality about you and you ain't got no divinity about you. And spirituality ain't got nothing to do with religion. Those are two separate things. If you don't know the definition, I suggest you take the time out and go research so you understand what it is and what it means. But y'all got to get that fear up out of your heart and get into your divinity. Because once you get into your divinity, ain't nothing going to touch you, fam. Nothing. Nothing. You don't know when to leave up out on time. Before something hits you, something will tell you. Let me just go over here and do, I don't even know why I'm feeling this way. Let me just, especially if you have enough common sense to listen to your inner G. Your inner G. Get it? If you got enough common sense to listen to your intuition and you follow it, you're going to be just fine. But if you don't have the ability to listen to your own intuition, that means that you don't trust yourself. And if you don't trust yourself, you're not operating within your divinity. Fear is the choice. Boom. It's not a real emotion. Exactly. It's a choice. I want you guys to really... Man, I got this chat on fire over here on Spreaker. They going in over here. They going in. They going in. Wow. See, people... I want to share something with you. This young lady said, that's why I left affordable housing and left California, because I know they're going to lock down low-income people first. But that is a woman operating within her divinity. She didn't operate without fear. She operated within her divinity. Because she could clearly see the writing on the wall. Just like when I left California back all the way back in June before the fire and all that crazy shit started happening out there with California. I was already out of there before it started. Because I operate within my divinity. I'm always being led by spirit and my higher self. Period. If my spirit tells me to go, I'm gone. That's just how it goes. You made your moves, Shalon Enterprises? So I want you guys to understand that there is a divine race of beings that are setting things in motion all around the world. And our military very well knows this. I want you guys to understand. You think it's a coincidence that you saw that logo of the lion in front of Trump? That lets you know who's in charge. I'm telling y'all where they're getting their directives from. I'm letting you know how it's going down. Remember I said they're getting a directive from something that's higher up? Remember I said that? Remember I told you that? Okay. Where's Elijah at? Huh? Huh? Who is it that's giving our military and giving our high government and these folks these directions? Who's doing that? Who does land belong to? I told you from the beginning. Remember that live I did back then? I said it started with us and it ends with us. Remember I told you that? If y'all didn't see that live I did, y'all need to go check that out. I said it started with us and it will end with us. I told y'all this. If you haven't figured this out by now, why they have not left us, why they still have this captive, if you guys still don't figure this out, have not figured this out yet, why they still held us captive. You got to critically think and start asking some serious questions. Why they work so hard to strip everything away from us. Why put that kind of work in? Why was this done? because they don't want to let go what doesn't belong to them. And as the Spirit of God comes and pours down its soul upon his people, that is when you're going to start seeing the superpowers. See, if you go back and you look at some of these books and some of these scriptures in these books, and you see some of the characters that were talked about and the things they did, these were individuals these were superheroes. A lot of your comic book stories and things like that were written about us. When you go and you start reading some of this stuff and you shift your thinking about what it is you're reading and how you're reading it, you'll begin to realize some things. You'll begin to realize that these were beings that were operating not only in their full divinity, but their DNA was completely activated. They talked about Moses had a staff and parted the Red Sea. What do you think that was? Now look at this from a comic book perspective. Let me shift your perspective for a minute. Are you following me now? Black Panther. We are moving into a galactic society. That is happening. We are going to have a high council. There's going to be a lot of new leaders coming into this new world. And those new leaders have to be in the proper persona. I've been telling y'all this shit for a while now. I'm done talking about it. Even Superman got his powers from the sun. And what was Superman's father's name? Kal-El. And who are the L's? The Elohim. And who are the L's? The Moors. The Moorish American Indians. And that's why you want to claim your rightful title back and establish who you are so you can get your title back to this damn land. Now y'all this was laughable to me because some of y'all said, well, what about Bill Gates is going out here and buying all the land up? Let me tell you something. Buying all the farmland. Let me tell you something. How long do you think that's going to last? How long do you think that's going to last with everything that's fun? Do you really believe that this man is going to be around for a long period of time? He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. That's all you're seeing. Everything that you see playing out in front of your eyes is a script. It's a huge script. A big ass motion picture stage show. I told y'all this before. And everybody has a part to play. And guess who the main characters are in the movie, but they don't even realize they're the main characters in the damn movie. That's what's tripping me out. Who's the main characters in the movie? Who is the story really about? And you don't even realize that you're the damn main character in the movie. And you don't realize that the story is about you. Y'all been sleeping. A demon's going to do what a demon does. Don't expect a demon to be nice. Don't be out here complaining because you see a demon acting like a damn demon. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. I don't get that. How you going to have... That's fantasy land. Oh, I'm mad because the devil's acting like a devil. Or a demon's acting like a demon. Huh? That's what they do. But who are the angelic beings that can slay a demon down on sight? And what you think gonna happen? What you think gonna happen? There's so many of us waking up right now. There's so many of us that's getting activated right now. What do you think is going to happen to that dude? What do you think is going to happen to anybody else that tries to stop us? In that scripture, it said that they will have to submit to us. All right, y'all. I'm done. Holler back. I got 19 seconds. I'm going to holler back.